It looks like a bit of a blizzard, doesn't it? Let's go start the day. Hi everybody, welcome to my greenhouse. I think we survived the big cold front for the south that really kind of took us all off guard, and so we're about to see how everything did. And I kind of am one foot in the greenhouse and the other is kind of hanging out because it is packed full with flowers, and I'll show you that in a minute. We've got to get everything taken out. We've got to remove all of these covers. We've got to see what everything looks like underneath it, and then what else are we doing? It is a very busy day. We've got that to do. Oh, I'm so excited about this. We are planting our first set of Ranunculus. That is just, I'm so excited because their roots are full. They look fantastic. Then we're going to take the ones out of the refrigerator and put them up in the smaller refrigerator because it's just too cold in my downstairs kitchen refrigerator. So they need to go in the little small one. I'm telling you, that little small one is perfect for this project. And then at the end of the video, what I'm going to do is everything gardening is kind of at the first part of the video, and then at the end, if anybody wants to stay along with any kind of garden to table cooking, sourdough, anything in the kitchen, that's when I'll have it at the end in all of my videos. So I hope you stay and see. But today I am doing some sourdough discard muffins, and I've got a loaf of sourdough going, so I'm pretty excited about that. So, and we're still puppy sitting. I've got my grandpups here, so it is busy. I think they're coming running now, so let's go get busy. So here is a look inside of the greenhouse. I've got to take all of these out and put them back in their places. And they look like they did good. So snapdragons are pretty durable when it comes to the weather, and the zinnias are the ones I was more worried about, and they look okay. But the one thing about freezes is you won't look at your plant and see that it's dead. It takes time for the frost damage to really set in, so we'll have to keep an eye on these. Okay, so putting these up, folding them is definitely a two-person job. My husband's going to come out in a little while and help with that. I've got to put that back in the garage, and I've got to go clean up and start my sourdough. So I'm going to go do that, and then we'll be right back out in the garden. Okay, so it's time for me to start taking all the plants out, but this weather is crazy. Every time you step on this side of the garden and you're in the sun, you start to burn up, and you take off the sweatshirt. And when you step on that side of the garden and it's shaded, you're freezing. So you're gonna see me sweatshirt on, sweatshirt off, sweatshirt on, sweatshirt off. I'd probably work up a sweat once I start removing these, so I'm gonna go ahead and take it off. We did good. This one is, I don't know why, that one is way too heavy for me to pick up. So let's go look at our marigolds. I was not able to cover them up, and I put a note in my garden journal last night because this was a huge mistake. Number one, I did not trim them when they were about 12 inches tall, which would have made them wide and bushy instead of so tall and heavy. You would have thought I would have learned my lesson with my roselle, but not all plants require that, so I messed up. which made me not be able to cover her. But like I said, you don't know if a plant is damaged immediately after a frost. You have to wait a couple of days. But so far, she's looking okay, but only time will tell. So I think I'm gonna come out here and cut this flower at least and enjoy her in the greenhouse. Scrap fabric that used to be covered on my bench in my guest bedroom worked out fantastic to cover up my alliums and my ixias. So I'm so glad I kept this, and this is gonna be put up. So something positive with all of this weather, I found my favorite scissors. I need to give them a really good cleaning because I accidentally left them in the bed and they kind of sunk down a little. I'm really bad about that, I will just tell you. So I'm going to clean these up, and then we're going to go, well, I'm going to go cut the marigold and clean her up. Okay, actually I found them. They fell right into this hole right there. I don't know how that happened, but also with me, sometimes I don't know how anything happens. I'm going to cut this one kind of low right here. Now these were covered, and I'm really surprised that they look like they did really good. So I might cut a few. Let me put the camera down and I'll cut a few of these. Okay, so I have a little jar. These are some little spice jars that I used in the past, and I just think they make the pretty little vases whenever you just have a couple flowers, so I use those for that. You're gonna have to tell me if you grow marigolds and like from seed and the different varieties than just the ones that they sell at the store. I don't love the way they smell, but I'm not noticing the smell inside my house, or I would not put them in there. But I don't like it. It's very medicinal almost. Not my favorite, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut those off. And then there we go. Just some little flowers to keep in the greenhouse. I think I'll just put those right there. Clean this up. Now let's go pull one of our trays of our ranunculus, and we're going to start going through them and seeing which ones we're going to plant. I think we should be able to do all of them, and then I'll have the wheelbarrow, and I got more soil and black cow. I'm going to mix that all up, and then I'll fill up one of the round bins, and we'll start putting the marigolds, no, I'm sorry, the ranunculus in there. And I am beyond excited. This is my first time growing them, and I think they're going to make the most beautiful cut flower, and I cannot wait to put arrangements together. So let's go grab those. Okay, let's grab our trays. We're going to start with one, and I definitely want to start with ranunculus. They are looking really, really good. You have to be very gentle because you don't want to break any of the roots, but these are definitely ready. And then next, I'll come back up and get these. Look at that. Oh, that's amazing. I love it. So when working with these and taking them out, you don't want to be too rough. You want to gently turn that soil over and just see where all your sweet little ranunculus are. And we're having really, really good success here. They look fantastic. Okay, we have 20, and they all look fantastic. They all sprouted, so we're gonna go put these in the ground. Okay, tray number 2. Let's see what our success rate will be with this one. Okay, let's see. Lots of roots. This is so exciting because I will tell you, those first couple of days, not couple of days, but you know, that first week, I wasn't seeing a lot, and I was thinking, oh no, I hope I'm not doing something wrong, because this is my first time with ranunculus. And I just adjusted the temperature. I kind of experimented and it worked. So I found that they really liked to be at that 50 to 55 degree range. If it's below that, I just found that they were really going slow, and I had it more like at 45, and they didn't seem to love that. But these are very happy. Okay, before we put our fresh soil and compost in here, I am going to chop this chives, and then I'll take them inside and I'll give them a really good cleaning, and then I'll chop them much smaller so that we can have them for all sorts of dishes. And I'm going to go ahead and remove these from this bed carefully and I'll transplant this into another spot and it'll have a new home. Oh my goodness, I can smell it. Usually when you only cut a little bit, you don't get quite as fragrant of a whiff, but that smells amazing. So let me know, do you enjoy cooking with chives? And if so, how do you use yours? I'd love to hear. Okay, my goal, you know what, I think I should probably just do this with this smaller one. Let's go give her a new home. Okay, so I have been told that adding sand to the soil is a really good idea. It lets the corms be a little bit more breathable because they don't like soggy feet. So we are all set. Okay, so I am going to go 2 inches deep and 6 inches apart. If you can find a tool that is the right length, this is exactly 6 inches. So that's going to be our marker right there. So, and as far as the 2 inches deep, we're going to be roughly right here at our point. So this tool is going to work out really nicely. The temperature is dropping fast. It is, my hands are like shaking and turning purple, but it's not cold enough that I need to cover things, so I'm very happy about that. But what I am going to do is a little change of plans. I am going to save these Ranunculus that were left. I had 12 because there's no guarantee that all 12 are going to open, and what makes the beds look beautiful is when they're really full and just the color. So I'm gonna have anemones left over that I'll be planting either tomorrow night or the next night. So what I'm gonna do, like I said in the beginning, I'm gonna stick with that plan. I'll plant these 12 and then a couple of the anemones that I have left over. So that'll look much prettier. So now what we're gonna do is go pick up our items, clean up really good. We've got to start our stretch and folds on the sourdough, and then I'm gonna go ahead and make the muffins. And I've got to run to Publix because I am making a poblano from the garden chicken and rice soup that is out of this world. I won't be sharing it in this video, but I'll definitely be sharing it soon. So let's go get cleaned up, run to the store, and then make our sourdough muffins, and I will share that with you. Okay, everybody, you can see the garden right back there. I just want to say thank you so much for spending the day with me. We had a lot to do, from taking down all of the frost cloths and the poles, putting everything back in place. We planted our ranunculus. I am so excited about that. They sprouted perfectly. We moved our other ones upstairs, so now they'll be at the right temperature. What else did we do? Now we're gonna go inside. So if the garden is all that you're here for, I just wanna say thank you so much for being here. But if you're here for the sourdough and the blueberry muffins that I'm about to make, come along and let's go in the kitchen. Hi everybody, so all cleaned up, and I've just washed my chives. So I have got so many chives. They're sitting on a towel. I'm gonna put these over there so that they can really air dry, and then we will chop them and put them in a freezer bag and they'll be set. And anytime my husband makes some eggs, he can sprinkle it on there. I don't really eat chives. I don't not like them, but it's just not something I really eat. But I know he enjoys them on his eggs, so he is going to have chives for days. So this is washed clean. Let's put this over there, let it air dry, and we're going to start our muffins. Okay, on a side note, real life is going on right now, and isn't that what makes it fun? We've got the dishwasher going, but the reason my dishwasher is going is because my sourdough is sitting on the counter and it gets warm up here, and it just makes the perfect sourdough. Also, I have 4 doodles running around because we're puppy sitting, so it might get a little bonkers, but hopefully not. So, as far as sourdough discard muffins, you do not have to have sourdough discard. What I've read about is sourdough discard mainly adds a mild, tangy flavor with extra moisture and a bit of structure. So you can do equal parts of flour and buttermilk, or you can use yogurt. You can use flour, milk, and a splash of vinegar. You're just trying to get that little bit of that tangy taste. So don't fret if you don't have sourdough discard. Those are some options that you can definitely use. So I am going to put the camera down. Also, I had to quickly say, I know that I'm making sweets right now with these muffins, but I've been in the garden for hours today and I want a little sweet treat. So when we did our grocery store pickup today, I did the Joanna Gaines chocolate chip cookies, and I've had the sugar cookie and they were very good. The smell of these is out of this world. It smells like one of those gourmet cookie shops, so I thought we could taste it together. So y'all, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. I was gonna say it kind of got me $9.99 for a pack of cookies. These are not like your regular kind of refrigerated cookie. This is no, I'm not sharing. Plus it's got chocolate in it. You can't have chocolate. These are delicious. Highly recommend them. Okay, so this is a recipe that a friend of mine shared with me, and she said I really have to make these because she enjoyed them and she found them to be super easy, and it was a way for her to use her sourdough discard. So I'm just looking at the recipe that she emailed me, and we are going to need 1.5 cups of flour. So we have our flour. We're going to need 3/4 a cup of sugar, and I'm going to have all of this listed below for you. We need our baking powder. We need salt. We need 1/3 cup of melted butter. I'll grab that. Eggs, 1 egg, 2/3 a cup of milk, 1/2 cup of your sourdough discard, and your fresh blueberries, which we have right here. And very soon, probably this spring, we will be picking blueberries off of our own blueberry bush. So maybe we'll have our own garden to table blueberry muffins with sourdough discard. That would be amazing. And for the streusel on the top, we need flour, sugar, and melted butter. So I think we're set. I'm gonna start melting the butter. I am really excited to make these cupcake or muffins because I ordered on Amazon these little cupcake papers. I wanted to take them up a notch and make them really pretty. Look at these, how pretty is that? You get the dark brown, the white, and the parchment paper color, the brown. I always think parchment paper, but I think those are gonna be so, so pretty. And I'm also going to be using my new cake stand, so I think that'll be real pretty. This is my cake stand. When I saw someone post this, I thought, oh my goodness, that is Studio McGee or Joanna Gaines Magnolia, and I was like, ooh, I wonder how much that's going to be. And when she said it was from Walmart, I was blown away because the quality is so nice. Look at that ruffle scalloped edge. I just think that's so pretty, and it goes so nicely with the, you can tell that's what I'm really into right now. Okay, we've got butter that's ready. Okay, so I have to be honest with you. I have the sweetest husband ever. I realized I thought I had milk on the list and I did not, and so he just ran up to go get me milk because I just think these are going to be great to have for breakfast. And then I may even test freezing some and kind of pulling them out the night before. So while all of this kind of sits and waits because we're ready, all we need is the milk, we are going to go ahead and finish preparing our sourdough. Okay, before I spread this all over my bread, I am going to make sure that I like it, which I kind of recommend that when you use a seasoning. So, and this only has onion, garlic, sesame seeds, poppy seeds, and sea salt. That's all that is in here. Absolutely the cleanest ingredients. So let's see what I think about it. That is delicious. I usually don't just eat spices, but I also don't want to put something on that I don't like the flavor on my sourdough that I have spent hours on, and that is very good. That's going to be delicious with some cream cheese. It is going to be delicious with cream cheese as it's warm out of the toaster, because what I'm going to do is use my new slicer tonight, which I'm really excited about, and then I'll put everything in the freezer, and as I am making soups for the rest of the several months, with it being so cold, we'll be taking a lot of soup for lunches, and then we'll have a bowl at night, and a fresh piece of sourdough bread will be pure perfection. So that is this loaf. It is 4:30 now. At 6:30 she should be ready to go in the oven. I am going to leave her right here on the dishwasher, because the counter, it will be going on the dry cycle and it will be nice and warm. So let me clean up, and then when he gets here I will start the muffins. Okay, so while I was waiting, I went ahead and chopped up the chives and put them in this little freezer container, and they're the size that you could literally just sprinkle in your eggs. I was also thinking about it, how delicious would it be if you really like chives to take and use your cream cheese on the sourdough that I'm making and then sprinkle the chives on there. So I'll have to remind Eddie about that, because that would be delicious. So these are going in the freezer. Okay, so we are going to start with 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. We need 3/4 cup of sugar. Two teaspoons of baking powder. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 1/3 cup of melted butter. This is known as a one-pot dish, so you're literally just layering everything into one dish. So we're going to do 1 egg. We're going to do 2/3 cup of milk. We're going to go with 1/2 cup of our sourdough discard, and this would be where you would, if you didn't have sourdough discard, you could do yogurt, buttermilk. We're going to go ahead and preheat our oven to 375. So this being a one dish muffin recipe. Now we're going to go and wash our blueberries, and we're going to need 1.5 to 2 cups of blueberries. Okay, our blueberries are washed, and it's a little bit more than 2 cups, but that's okay. That just means it will be absolutely delicious. Okay, so we need to do 1/2 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of flour, and 1/4 cup of melted butter. What are you doing? Okay, so I'm going to slowly pour this in here to help make a crumble, and just use a fork to hopefully help it get little crumble pieces. Okay, that's good. Does this smell good? It does? Okay, so we almost had enough, but we've got 1 paper left, and then let's just take this with our fingers so that we can kind of crumble it on top. Okay, these are going to bake for about 28 minutes, but we're going to watch that closely because everyone's oven is different. But let's put this in the oven for 28 minutes. This is the little bread cutting machine that we picked up. I ordered it on Amazon, and you can pick the thickness of your slice by just turning this, and then you'll put your bread right here and run it through, and your slice will come through. So I'm going to slice up some bread for sandwiches. Okay, this was not my best loaf. I think I just did not let it proof correctly with the warmth, but as far as the slicing machine goes, it is amazing. So I sliced several pieces, and I'm about to put them in a Ziploc bag and put it in the freezer, and we can heat it up and toast it and have it for sandwiches. I think it'll be great. So a little disappointed with my loaf, but the slicer, A+, absolutely love it. Okay, so they are done, and we already had one just to taste test it, and they are delicious. Highly, highly recommend them. Full of blueberries, that delicious crumble on the top. They are fantastic. I'll put the recipe below. Okay, everybody, today was a really productive day. We were able to do so much in the garden, and the fact that the ranunculus are planted, I'm so excited. Also, I hope that you give this recipe a try. They are absolutely delicious, and I know you'll love them. And it was fun to get to share the new bread slicer. So that is a new addition that I know we are going to love. So thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.